It is noon. Thank you very much. So I'm Angela Odom. You know how most women underestimate themselves, undervalue themselves. Most women undervalue themselves. So I created a system, a success system that helps them build their personal leadership skills so that they show up with confidence in their workspaces as well as their social environments. And I kind of like doing that, right? You pump me up, I pump you up. We learn from one another. And so we're going to, first of all, I want to just know, I know that Monique is going to do a watch party. Does anyone else know of anyone else who can benefit from the goodness on Better You TV for women leaders? And if so, then go ahead and share, start a watch party, like, comment, make sure you actually get something out of this. So excited about my using my military service as a pathway to actually become a business entrepreneur. I have to laugh at myself every single time, just this technology. So anyway, so I'm pretty excited to be here with you today. We have a great topic today. Of course, you know, we developed the S.O.A.R system, success system, that's strategy, organize, accountability, and relationships. Today's topic is what does style and skill have to do with leadership? So today you will discover top issues leaders are encountering, 9 types of leadership styles, the difference between hard and soft skills, and then the top 10 leadership skills. And also we're going to cover, you know, how you can build your skills. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence, and then making sure that that impact lasts in your absence. One of the things I learned, you know, serving with so many amazing people is really do the best we can every single day. I believe everybody shows up with the right intention, and then, you know, things happen, right? And so for the leaders, for the person who is really the face of the organization or face of the team, placed in a position, you know, and is executing managerial skills, right? Then that person, what you want to do is you want to make your presence known. You want to make sure that everyone that you interact with, engage with, they're made better by being with you or around you. What actually will tell you whether you've made a difference is when you're gone, when you're not there, right there with your thumb on them, right? When you're not right there providing guidance, when you're not right there motivating, when you're not there right there providing resources. So when you are gone from that situation, moved on, you may have another position, or you might just be on vacation. But when you're not right there, like standing there physically, then you know that your impact is positive, right? Otherwise, if they can do it without you when you're there, then I don't know. So you know what I mean, right? So if you know what I mean by leadership is about making others better, then just in the comments, if you would, just put down better, 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 right? Better. I'm looking for your comments to say better. So for me, I served for 27 years in the Army, and then I've been retired for 4. One of the things I've just started to do more is for me, I started to listen more than I talk, right? Listen more than I talk. That right there is a skill all by itself, just to listen. Listen without thinking about, oh, what am I going to say next? You just listen to understand, right? And so you want to just do the same. But one of the few of the things that I've noticed, I've encountered over the years is, I've observed rather, that most leaders face. One is leader burnout, right? Because we're doing too much. We're expending too much time, energy, and effort for too little payoff. And really the whole point is because we have this big, long list of things we think we're supposed to do. Some of it is based on a mission and objectives that our leadership, that our boss, that our mission dictates. And then some we just add to it. So I say, hey, how about we stick to the basics? Like actually do what you're supposed to do first, and then do the basics first. Then you move on. Get some help also. So leader burnout, unsatisfactory executive team functioning. So whomever the leaders are together, your core team, for the most part, most folks say that they could do better. They could communicate better. They can engage with people more respectfully, right? They could, right, bring their part. They could do what they're supposed to do as far as making a team better. And then the other things that leaders face or encounter are very few committed team leads, right? And so that means really a few things. People are so distracted with all the things that are going on around them and within them, and trying to do the best they can. However, it is really leadership that will inspire people by sharing what the benefits are, even embracing their vision. What do I get out of this? Quite frankly, you tell them what they get out of it. And then some another thing that most of us face is boring, unproductive meetings, right? Like, we mean again about what? We can't do this. Like, just text me. So that's one of the other things that I've noticed over time is leader burnout, unsatisfactory executive team functioning, very few committed team leads because they don't know what they get out of it. And sometimes they just don't trust you as a consistent leader, as an effective leader, as someone who is going to, help them grow, right? And then the other part of that is boring, unproductive meetings. So if any of those things you're encountering, then let me know. And at some point, I guess we could talk about what you're going to do about it, but not today, right? So if you've encountered any of those issues and you can relate, then go ahead and type in issues, and then you want to state for a bonus point, right? State the issue that actually resonates with you. You want to be able to define leadership for yourself, right? There's so many. If you get like, I don't know, if you get like 10 people in a room, you say, well, what do you think of leadership? What's leadership to you? And you're going to get 10 different definitions. The way I define it is, I believe it's a process of influencing others and, to get what you want, to attain a specified and unspecified goals. So it's a process of influencing others. That's the basics of a definition of leadership. And I'd be interested to know what your definition is, right? So if you're confident in your personal definition, not Angie Odom's definition, right? Then type definition. And so we should have an idea. We should have an idea of what leadership is for us and what it means. Because most people are walking around doing the best they can. However, they don't really see themselves as a leader. They might be, a manager, a supervisor. They might be a team lead. But as far as a leader, they think that's for someone else. And in my mind, quite frankly, I believe we all have the capability. Now, we might not have the skill set to lead in a particular position, but I believe that we all have the capability to influence others, period. I believe that. It might be in your own circle, but that's where I am with that, right? Again, if you know anyone who can benefit from the goodness on Better You TV for women leaders, if you do, then go ahead and share, start a watch party, like, and make sure you comment. So we talked about leadership, just defining that, right? And also some of the issues that leaders that I've encountered faced. And now let's just go into leadership style and define that, right? And so the approach one uses, because that's basically what it is, the approach as you are engaging with others, we label that as a style. And the person is in a position of an authority, then we whatever that manner in which they influence their staff, their team, or organization to complete a task, well, that's their leadership style. Their approach, the way they interact and engage with other people is the style that they use, the leadership style, if they're in that position of authority, or if you hold them in regard. They might not necessarily be the person in the position, but still they are influencing others to attain a particular goal, whether it's specified or unspecified. The approach they use, that's the style. That's their leadership style. Are you confident in your primary leadership approach or style? I mean, really, are you? I mean, do you recognize that in certain situations, you interact and engage with people in a certain way? You might be more directive or participatory, or you might be the one with all the charisma. People like, oh, wow, I just want to follow that. What you say you want me to do? So if you're confident in your primary leadership approach or style, then type style. Type style, style, style. I'm looking for style, 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 right? And so these are 9 types of leadership styles. Now you might say, well, I can think of 2 or 3 more. Then good, go for it. So transformational, you know, a person starts in one state and you actually transform the organization to another, right? Transactional, you know, give me this for that. You know, you show up for work on time 3 days in a row, then guess what? We're going to throw you a party. Or if you are able to complete this project by within the next 6 weeks, then you get you get like a stipend or a raise or something. You get 2 days off. Servant leadership style, if that person is there, be just what it says, to serve others, to help others grow, and it's very intentional. Autocratic, well, we know what autocrats do. They just like, do what I say. Don't ask me any questions, right? And they're very prescriptive. Laissez-faire is, well, whatever you want. You remember Eddie Murphy's movie Coming to America, and he had been told he was going to marry this certain lady. She thought she was from a tribe, you know. And he said, well, what would you like to eat? Whatever you like. That's a simplistic view, but laissez-faire really is everybody gets a vote. And guess what? When everybody gets a vote, that's going to lead to a very frustrating outcome over time, right? Democratic, everybody gets to say so, input. Everybody is heard. And in that kind of scenario, I kind of like it when you have people with certain levels of expertise, people with certain level of maturity, people with the willingness to do the job. So you got the work ethic, you have integrity, you have expertise, you have people that have worked together for a certain amount of time, so we know what we bring to the table. So that might be more democratic, right, in that particular situation. But when one other person with a different background is introduced, and that might be problematic. So you have to look and see what works for you, right? And so you have bureaucratic, which means fill out this form first, fill out the next form, fill out the next form, then we'll talk about it, right? Charismatic is the person, a lot of charisma, and you're just like, oh my God, I love it. I trust you just by the way you say it and what you said. And then of course, situational is just what it means. It depends on the situation. So you do what you can based on circumstances and situation. Make sense? So type in your primary leadership style below, whatever that might be or look like for you. Type in your primary leadership style for you, the one that you use, the one that you lean on. Now what we make sure we understand is that I say primary leadership style because based on the situation, the circumstances, the experience of the people you're engaging with, the culture of the organization, and the environment itself, then you're going to use a different leadership style, right? So you're going to have a primary one, and you're going to have various other styles, right? So that makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. So you have leadership skills defined. So skills. people start, I hear people talking about, different skills, and I'm like, I don't know if they even know what skills, how to define it. But, they're talking, talking, talking. So let's just take a few minutes just to go through skills. So we're basically talking about strengths and abilities that people demonstrate. So this is when we're managing processes, we guide initiative, and we're influencing other people towards the achievement of a goal. So really we're talking about strengths and abilities that are demonstrated and when we're doing certain things, right? And so we'll define a skill as the ability to perform an activity in a competent manner. I like that part, a competent manner, because sometimes you might just see someone demonstrate something and you're like, ooh, although you put the effort in, you didn't quite do it, right? So skills can be classified into three main types, transferable or functional, personal traits or attitudes, or knowledge-based skills, three types of skills. And so what skill do you perform with excellence? Type that below. What is that? It might be communication. You might be like a very non-verbal communicator. Be very good at creative thinking, critical thinking. There are so many different skills that you perform, right, on a daily basis as you're interacting with others. And so what does that look like? One of the things I want to make sure we cover is how skills are sometimes categorized. And they are categorized as hard skills or soft skills. You hear people talk about soft skills and you're like, okay, that makes sense to me. But what's a hard skill? What is that? That means like it's difficult to accomplish. What is that? And really the difference is hard skills are gained through education or specific training. They, might look like some kind of software that you have the certification to use or to teach, right? It could be, okay, for me personally, I have 2 master's degrees, one in undergrad and master's degree in personnel management, right? And guess what? Did that for 27 years. So those are hard skills. I can quantify that. I can show you certificates. I can, produce those. Whereas soft skills are, they're more like personality traits. These are things you're doing over and over in time. These are habits that, people can actually see you execute, but you not necessarily can quantify them, right? How you manage your time, what that communication might look like. And then, oh, by the way, how do you do hard things? Like, how do you confront challenging situations? What in the world do you do when it's time to resolve conflicts? Like people are at one another's throat. What do you do to make it all right? Because it's all about the organization at this point, right? And how you are managing your most important resources, which is people. So list your transferable soft skill below. You get that? Transferable soft skill below. I'm looking for transferable soft skills. And so what's transferable? So in one situation, one environment, you can use this certain skill, maybe communication, effective communication, right? Public speaking. You can use this same skill in another environment, a different environment. So it's a transferable soft skill. Get it? Make sense? Make sense? Make sense? Oh, inspirational. I see you, Carrie. Inspirational. Okay, I got it. Got it. So leadership skills. It just knocks me over with a feather when people are like, well, I'm not a leader. Yes, you are. You're leading something. You might be leading me in jokes. Who knows? But whether you are an office manager or a project leader, all effective leaders require a number of soft skills. And so what you want to do is you want to know how to be effective in delivering these skills, because what's going to help you interact positively with your folks, with your team members, with your bosses, with your peers, is to know which skills, where the gaps are within yourself, right? So for me, I know that I follow folks who have the ability to communicate well. Communicate, whether it's verbal communication, whether it's as in just a simple conversation, acknowledgement, right? I also know that effective leaders, for me, are motivational, right? And they actually delegate responsibilities very well, and they handle their own, it's a handle your business very well. And I have, as I said earlier, become much more intentional on listening to feedback and listening to feedback without, feeling any kind of way about it. It's not personal. It is, hey, I just need to tell you how I felt about the last project. And this is what we might be able to do to make that better. Oh, okay, let's see what we can do. And sometimes it's good feedback and sometimes it's just people whining and complaining. But guess what? Listen either way. So you want to have the flexibility to solve the problems because every single day, things are changing very rapidly. So get in where you fit in, leader, right? So you have the soft skills that's going to help you help others grow and accomplish the overall mission of the organization, because that's what it's about. So these are top 10 leadership skills that make an effective leader better in their workplace. You probably have some more, but these are like top 10. So communication, motivation, delegating, positivity. I just love being around positive people. Not the ones who are like overly, Rico, no, not that. It is just in every situation or most situations, being able to pick out something that you can learn from it, even when it's like awful, but ugly, awful, right? But at least having some semblance of positivity. I am attracted to positive people, right? And then, of course, trustworthiness, integrity above everything means the most to me. So you got to understand that and, be consistent so that people trust you, right? Creativity, feedback, responsibility, commitment, and flexibility. You got to be flexible. And let's just go back to number 9. Can you tell when someone is actually interested in something or committed? There's a big difference. There's nuances to that. Like, I want you to be committed. If you are leading me across the street, I don't care what it is. If you're leading me at the post office, whatever it is, then I want you to be committed. In that you're just merely interested in, I'm out, right? So which leadership skills do you use the most? And you notice I said skills because you're going to use, a few of them. I sure hope one of them is trustworthiness and communication, because those two, right? Those two, communication, trustworthiness, really are the ones that get to motivate people the most, right? In my humble opinion. So what do you do with all this? How can you build leadership skills, your own, right? So after you have, we've taken a look at styles, define leadership ourselves, right? We've looked at skills and what that looks like. We've talked about the various styles and skills. And now, so how can you build your own leadership skills? Well, you can take initiative. So you in your workplace and you've been there for, more than a day, you want to say, hey, if you see somebody moving a chair from one side of the room to the next, something as simple as, hey, I'll get the other chairs. You need me to do this? Or if it is some project or in some meeting, show up early, right? Request more responsibility. And that doesn't mean that, like, if you've only been there for like 30 days and you're just like, oh yeah, I want to take on more. Well, first of all, let's slow down and make sure that you have the basics, that you mastered your position, that which you are there to do. And once you've done that, once you have demonstrated dependability, right, and competence in what you're required to do already, what you've been hired to do, the reason you're there, then request more responsibility. Then you want to target specific skills. You might say, you know what, I think I need to focus on conflict resolution or creative thinking or critical thinking. And then you go out, you can get yourself a mentor, you can read more, you can talk to some folks about it, take a class. You have so many different options to target specific skills and then upgrade where you are. And this, of course, helps you build leadership skills. Make sense? So which leadership skills do you use the most? And let's just, go back to that. What do you actually use the most as far as your skills that you currently have before you look at building new skills? Say, okay, this is what I'm very comfortable with. Now I understand my style, my primary style. These are the skills that I use. Now, what do I want to build on? What are the gaps? I hope that makes sense. So here we are. I'm about to answer the question. What does style and skills have to do with leadership? Ba-ba! Everything. Everything. It is really the way we show up in the world, right? It's the way we interact with others to motivate them and to motivate ourselves, inspire ourselves, and motivate and inspire others. I should say inspire others and motivate ourselves, right? And as I digress, inspire others and motivate ourselves, right? I'm a believer that I don't know if I can motivate any other person. I can inspire others and I can motivate myself. I digress, right? So what does style and skill have to do with leadership? Everything. It's just, so first of all, know your style, and then become more self-aware to understand the skills that you bring to the table. In every environment, understand, the culture. And then guess what? Keep moving forward, improve, right? So this is what we cover today. Top issues leaders are encountering, right? I know y'all still stuck on that whole, the meetings, people having all those meetings for what reason? My God, that's crazy. 9 types of leadership style, the difference between hard and soft skills, and then the top 10 leadership skills. And we also looked at how you can build your skills. The first thing is you have to know where you currently are, right? And then you can ask for, more additional responsibility, first understanding where you are. It all starts with self-awareness, though, in this particular case. Okay, so we continue to evolve. You see these three ladies? They all me, right? So over time we evolve, and we start out in one place, and we're like, you know what? I want to go to the next level. I want to go to the next step. I want to grow, and that's basically my story, right? And so every single day, I get up wanting to learn something new, wanting to evolve, wanting to grow. Even when I am, not being my best. Like I started this whole thing out, this particular episode, the Better You TV, I couldn't even figure out how to get on this thing. But guess what? Bam! We did it. So keep moving, right? Keep pushing forward, right? So the question I want to leave you with is, are you confident that your styles help you to soar? And again, S.O.A.R is the success system that I developed. And it is strategy, organize, accountability, and relationships, where I walk women through this process so that those same women who undervalue themselves, and most of us undervalue ourselves, so that they show up in their workspaces with confidence, also in their social environments, because they have improved or grown their personal leadership skills. So that's my question to you, is what are you going to do about it? If you're not as confident in your styles as you would want to be, what are you going to do about it? Well, I invite you to take a deeper dive at my blog, right? I wrote a blog post. Woo-hoo. So AngelaOdom.com is, of course, my website. And in the blog, and the title of this is just what we talked about. What does style and skills have to do with leadership? And with that said, I'm going to leave you there with the Better You TV. I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon. You all take care and have Have an amazing day. I'm Angela Odom, and as always, I am rooting for you. And let me shut this thing right here down. I want to, before I close out, I just want to check with you and see if you had any additional questions. So that's the formal portion. I just want to check with you and see if you had any additional comments before we close this thing out. Right? And I'm looking over here because that's where the other screen is until I get more efficient at this thing. That's how we're going to do it. Crack myself up. Okay, I don't see any more comments. I see meditation. I see. Oh, Carrie said she's rooting for me. Yes. All right, that is successful today. You all have a great day. And if you can't make it great, make it wonderful.